Hi everyone and welcome back to National League Lowdown with me, Dan. As you can see, there's a full house of us this evening. I'm joined by Craig. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Dan. Obviously, trying circumstances with us all with the news we got earlier, which Mark will go through and give a very heartfelt tribute to the player. Very, very sad circumstances. But yeah, we try and look forward now to the weekend and the fixtures ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed preview show. Like Craig says, really somber circumstances, awful news. Louis, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Dan. Yeah, tough to put into words what's happened this morning. Obviously, Mark will do his best with his tribute. Yeah, really sad news that came out. But yeah, it's that time of the season now where fixtures come quick and fast and quick. So just get my tongue out. And yeah, looking forward to the festive fixtures.
Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely. Mark, obviously we're joined by you. I know you've got a few words you want to share with us on this sad day. Go for it, mate.
Absolutely. Aloha, everybody. Yes, it's not the best top of the show to start with, but we learnt this morning of the death of Macclesfield FC striker Ethan McLeod, who died in a car accident after the game at Bedford last night. An absolute shock. It's coming off the back of getting 3 valuable points last night, but it's absolutely insignificant now. But Ethan was a very valued member of the squad. He joined us in the summer and looked a very good prospect right from the get-go. Injuries got in there, but he came into the squad. He got us out of some predicaments. The Prescott Cables game, if every Mac fan remembers that. But 21 years of age, it's just incomprehensible that we'll never see him grow as a person and his career go on. But the tributes have been coming in. Supporters of all clubs and all clubs have been paying their respects to Ethan. I think the home game against Buxton that Mac have got on Boxing Day will be a very somber, but we'll want to remember Ethan. And I dare say that Craig, Dan, Louis, everybody who's involved in the deck and football fans from around the country will join us in sending our condolences and thoughts to Ethan's family, friends, and everybody connected at Macclesfield FC and his former clubs. Rest in peace, Ethan.
Beautifully said, Mark. Beautifully said. Like I say, thoughts of all of us at the deck, football fans everywhere. Go out to Ethan, his loved ones, everyone at Macclesfield, everyone in the football community that played with Ethan and everything like that. Really awful news and really sad time. So like I say, like Craig says, it's really somber circumstances, but we're gonna try and get on with the podcast as normal. We didn't do one at the weekend. There was a bit of illness around, people were working and stuff, so we're gonna try and do two jam-packed ones for you this week to make up for that. So this one's going to be a bit of a preview and prediction show, but first we're going to cover Truro 2, Wealdstone 0. Louis, I know you watched this game keenly. What did you make of it, mate?
Yeah, pretty dire game. But I think that a massive win doesn't do it justice for Truro. It was one of those games that they had to win, and they got the 3 points, ended a run of 5 straight defeats in the league for them. Johnson Fisher got back into the side, opened the scoring with them with a sort of scrappy goal from a set piece. I think he backheeled it in quite close on the 6-yard line it was. And they huffed and puffed. They had a few chances and eventually got their second. Oxlade Chamberlain got it with 20 minutes remaining. It's poor play out the back from Baptiste for Wealdstone. Gives the concession easily, and they punished them, and they deserved it. Wealdstone just didn't turn up, even when they went 1-0 down, 2-0 down. I don't really remember them having an attempt on goal, an attempt on target that was of worthy of getting a goal or anything. But yeah, massive 3 points for Truro. They needed it. I think their last home win was Halifax in mid-November. and even their run out of the league and cup competitions obviously got thumped by Southend on Saturday as well in the FA Trophy. So a real confidence boost for them, and maybe just gives them a bit of a glimmer of hope. And we've talked about their home form. They're 18th on home form. They've got 13 points from 11 games, but they really need to pick up their away form if they're going to survive in this division. They're currently bottom of the away table, 2 points from 11 games. But if they turn those 2 points into wins, they'd be 1 point off safety. So it's small margins. But their next 4 away games are York, Forest Green, Southend, and Rochdale. So spare a thought for those travelling Truro fans, because those are all free hits. But I don't see their away form picking up anytime soon, Zach. That for them.
Yeah, I mean, I know you put your preview out, Louis. I've seen it on social media. One of the things I commented straight underneath was it was now or never for Truro. They had to start winning, and they had to start winning quickly. So it's a massive result for them. But like you said, they've got some tough games coming up. Even though it's a glimmer of hope, I still can't see them turning it round personally. Mark, what did you make of this one, mate?
Well, as Louis and yourself have just pointed out there, it had to be a must-win for Truro. But you look now, the teams above them, I mean, they're only 5 points from safety. That's the weird thing about it. And when you've got Aldershot, Morecambe, Gateshead, Braintree getting sucked into that, it's doable. It's not impossible, but they're going to have to start to get a run of games. They can't just go, win one, lose another, win one. It's got to be a straight flush of wins, and I'm sure John Askey's going to be pressing on them to do that. It's a bit of a dent in Wealdstone's climb up to the playoffs again, but it's always a big ask going to places like Truro or anywhere of a distance on a midweek fixture. But if I was Aldershot, Gateshead, Morecambe and Braintree to a certain extent, I would be really looking over my shoulder now and thinking, don't want them to win any more games. But please for John Askey, please for me Truro people, just get a second win in a row. That's all it takes.
I think it's a tough ask for this weekend, mate. Obviously, we'll get to our predictions shortly. But obviously, Brackley are getting sucked into there as well. I looked earlier on there; they've really dropped down into the mire as well. So there's numerous teams that will be looking over the shoulders now. Craig, anything to add on that one last night?
Yeah, just echoing what Mark said at the end there about it being a difficult place to go on a Tuesday night. I think when we spoke to Matt Kretschmar really early in the season, he talked about them being they're not full-time yet. They're not part-time, they're not full-time, they're hybrid, they're in the middle. So they do some evenings, some mornings. And I think the fact that they're not a full-time team probably didn't mean they could go up maybe the day before or even earlier in the day. It was maybe a bit of a disrupted schedule for them. So probably not the ideal fixture. But yeah, if you're Truro, these are the games you have to win. And just echoing the points the lads have already made, that the teams will be looking over their shoulders. I think Dagenham and Redbridge, Louis, the resident stat man here, will correct me if I'm wrong, went down with 52 points last year. I feel like it's not going to be as many to keep you up this year. I reckon 45 might be the magic number this season. And for Truro, they can probably pick up quite a few of them points at home. But as Louis said, if they can get 8 more points away from home to coincide with 7 or 8 wins at home or something along them lines, that might be enough for them, because I don't think it's going to be a massive tally that's going to need to take teams up. The teams at the top are absolutely flying, so that means the teams at the bottom aren't taking those scalps as much. So 45 might keep you up, and they've got a better chance now than they did 24 hours ago, shall we say, of getting there.
Yeah, it's true. It is true, and you're right. We seen that in November, didn't we? Where we had so many teams that were unbeaten, flying high, and then all the teams in the I think it was at the bottom 4. There was only 1 win all month from all 4 teams combined. It shows the gulf.
I think that was Morecambe as well when they get their monthly win, but best team in England, remember.
But yeah, so we're going to get into our predictions. We're going to go through them in order of kickoff time. So I think I'm up for the first two, so you might get a bit bored of me after the first two, but we'll go around, do our predictions. So first up is, I still can't quite believe we've got a Friday night game in the National League, but 12 days of Christmas and all that. Big up the zone. Altrincham 1, Rochdale 2 is my prediction, but I'm thinking, for me, Altrincham are a bit of a mixed bag at the minute. They've won a few games, they've done well under the new manager, but then they lost in the cup at, was it Tottenham? I think they lost. Telford, sorry. They were 3-1 up and lost 4-3. They lost to 2 late goals at Aldershot. They seem to, I don't know, just be struggling a little bit. And Rochdale, like I say, they're just getting over the line in some games, and that's what champions do. That's why they're at top of the league. That they've still got them games in hand that a lot of their supporters like to brag about and things like that. But even the games that they are playing, they're finding ways to get over the line. They've got an injury to Sam Beckwith, which is a big miss now for them for the season. So it'll be interesting. So it'll be interesting to see how their defence copes without him. But I still think they'll just have too much for Altrincham in this one. So that's why I've gone for 2-1 Rochdale. Craig?
Yeah, I think what you said makes a lot of sense. Obviously, Rochdale, I've spoken about defences winning championships. They've conceded the least goals in the league so far this season. And that's why I'm backing them to get another clean sheet. In this one, I'm going to go 2-0 Rochdale.
Nice. Louis?
Yeah, defensively solid, but obviously Beckworth is a huge miss. I've gone 2-1 Rochdale for this one. And I think I said on previous podcasts about Altrincham, I'm not 100% sure that they're out of a sticky situation down the bottom. I think their wins were a bit of a glimmer of hope that was false, in my opinion. But yeah, 2-1 Rochdale for me.
Yeah. And Mark?
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Rochdale as well. Bit of a new manager baptism still for Neil Gibson. How Rochdale will do without Sam Beckwith, that is a massive, massive loss for them. They'll need to get somebody of equal quality in pretty soon. Talk about Oliver Watmouth going to a Premier League club from Manchester City for £10 million. Unbelievable. But any Rochdale fan will tell you he's been worth the money, but he's out at the moment. But yeah, Rochdale should be pretty comfortable with this at 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've nearly got a full house there. I mean, I know Craig went 2-0, but we've all gone for Rochdale there. Next up is me again. Boston versus Aldershot, the battle of the two managers we've had on the podcast, Graham and John. Both teams Aldershot more so scrapping for their lives, but Boston still not quite out of trouble, I would say. Both teams coming off the back of decent results. I know the cup they both lost, but in the league, Aldershot got the first win under Coleman that I mentioned against Altrincham. Boston won as well. So I think normally I'd go for the home team, but I've got a feeling Aldershot might just be turning a little bit of a corner. So I've gone for 1-1 in this one. I've gone for a draw. I've told you, if ever I'm not sure, I'm just going to sit on that gigantic fence that we've got made for me. So I'm going to stick on there. So we'll see what happens. Craig?
Yeah, I'm glad you've mentioned the fence there because I forgot it in the Truro one. You guys all sat on it in that Truro game last night and that backfired for you all, didn't it? However, after saying that, I'm going to join you on it for this one. I'm going 1-1 as well.
Mark?
Well, I don't think the internet rumours of Aldershot's demise have been pretty premature, to paraphrase Mark Twain, but yeah, things like that are always a distraction. Will they, won't they? And Boston are going to take full advantage of that. I can see it being 2-0 Boston.
Nice. And then Louis, what's your prediction? And then your game's next, mate. So fire away with that after your prediction.
Yeah, so I've gone with the home side again for this one. I've gone with Boston to win 2-1. I think they'll just have too much for Aldershot. And if you're in doubt, back the home side. So yeah, no fence sitting for me on that one. My first game is the 12:30 kickoff between Woking and Scunthorpe. Intriguing game, this one. Woking unbeaten in 11 in all competitions, and yes, that does include the cup that we shall not mention. They've only conceded 6 goals in those 11 games. They're unbeaten in 10 games at home, but only 2 wins from those 10 games. So they rarely get over the line in those games. But their last defeat at home was against Forest Green on the 20th of September. And obviously beat Carlisle last week away from home 3-1 in the midweek game. Sorry to bring that up, Dan. But a great result for Woking that was, showing they can match it with the sides at the top and getting ever closer to those playoff places where Scunthorpe find themselves. So Scunthorpe, again, picked up a little bit, given that they've just won 3 on the trot in all competitions, having thumped Peterborough Sports on Saturday. The issue for them, I think, is that all 3 of those wins have come from home, where they've been one of the best sides at home all season. When you look at away, they're winless in 5 away games. Their last win on the road was at York on the 1st of October in a 3-1 win. I think Callum Roberts coming back from Scunthorpe has been a huge boost for them and has probably helped in the upturn of form. There's 9 points between these 2 sides. I think it will still be 9 come the end of the game on Saturday. But I'm going for a Desmond on this one. I'm going 2-2. Dan, what do you think?
Echo your thoughts, really. I think Woking, they were well worthy of that win at Carlisle as well. That was no fluke, ladies and gentlemen. They deserved that win. They probably could have had more goals as well on the night. So massive credit to them. They're in great form. But I just think Scunthorpe, like I said, with Callum Roberts coming back, look like they've got that edge back that maybe fell off a little bit for a while. But I've gone for a draw as well. 1-1. Craig?
Craig?
Yeah, I'm still on the fence as well, but I'm going to join Louis with the Desmond fence. 2-2.
Mark?
Well, I'm going to go for the draw, but not with you lot. I'm going to go for 1-1. As you say, Callum Roberts. People know I'm a massive fan of Callum Roberts. He is making a difference. There's a bit more swagger to them. Woking, will they have the FA Trophy draw against Mac on their mind? Probably not, but mind you, we do have Crystal Palace that day, so whatever. See you on Tuesday night. See you on the Tuesday night. All these Woking fans who think I'm a jinx, so you can have 1-1 for your troubles.
I wondered how long it was going to take before Macclesfield's cup tie with Crystal Palace got mentioned.
Didn't take long and won't take long.
When Woking play Macclesfield, Mark, if you go, are you taking some toast?
I will probably, I think I will. I'll have a loaf of bread handy. If they've got the toaster, I've got the bread. It just depends. Will it be butter and jam? You don't know.
Hopefully not for you on that day.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully not for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll end up throwing the bread over the stand if we get beat.
Next game, we've got Tamworth Southend. Mark, over to you.
Oh yes. Well, both teams have got aspirations of the playoffs, and both teams will probably look at the aspirations of the top 10 as well, because of very indifferent form from both of them. Southend in particular, after we said that they were going to be at least top 4, but their results have been very, very wobbly at the moment. Tamworth, the surprise package, if you will, so far, along with Wealdstone. It's just going to be a question of who's going to blink first, I think. But I don't think anybody's going to blink. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Dan, what do you think?
I agree with what you said about both teams' form. It's a bit mixed. Southend, I know they won in the cup at the weekend and things like that, and I know they've been tipped to win the FA Trophy by a couple of lads. But I've gone for 1-0 Tamworth. I just think Tamworth scraped this one.
Interesting. Craig, my feathered friend, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Southend will win this one. I think it will be a narrow affair. I think it'll be a tight one, and there might only be 1 goal in the game, but I've gone 1-0 to Southend.
And Louis, what do you reckon?
I've also gone for Southend with this one. Tamworth's home form, one of the worst in the division when I was looking at Truro's one. So yeah, I think they're just above the relegation zone based on home form. So I've gone 2-0 Southend on this one.
Nice. It's mixed there, so there's going to be some points gained here and there from somebody. Next up, we've got York Truro, which is Craig. Take it away, mate.
Yeah, you talked about mixed predictions, mate. I don't think there'll be too many mixed predictions in this one. York in fantastic form. 10 unbeaten in the league now. Absolutely flying. Obviously, they had a blip on Saturday in the FA Trophy, but according to their fans, it's not a blip because they wanted to go out anyway, so that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Truro, we've obviously spoke about earlier in the show and stopping the rot and getting that win. And we spoke about them wanting to get momentum. So the last place you'd want to go when you're trying to build a bit of momentum is to the free scoring York City side. And that's what we're going to get here. It's going to be free scoring for York and it's going to be 3-0. Mark, what do you think, sir?
Yes, I'm tending to agree with you here. I mean, as much as Truro need the points, the fixture gods have not been kind to them. Yep, York did have a blip, you could say, on Saturday. I don't remember them not minding winning the FA Trophy nearly 10 years ago when they got relegated, but how times change, eh? But no, they're unstoppable at the moment, absolutely unstoppable, and it will take a Herculean effort from Truro, but just not going to happen. 3-0 York.
And Louis?
Just before I get onto this prediction, just like to shout out and brag how good my prediction was for Clitheroe to beat York in the FA Trophy last week. So yeah, I'll get that one in.
How did Sutton do?
Oh yeah, we'll get onto that.
Jesus, that was brutal. That was brutal.
5-0 York for me on this one. We'll move swiftly on from that comment remark.
And Dan, have you got as many goals for York as Louis?
I think this is going to be a close one, lads. I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to be really tight. I've got 5-0 York. Nothing much more to add on that. I think it'll be a matter of keeping the score down from Truro. Next up, we've got Yeovil Forest Green, which is Craig again. Fire away, mate.
Yeah, so Yeovil under Billy Rowley have won both league games since he's been in charge. One home, one away, and went through to the next round of the FA Trophy on penalties against Maidstone, where Yeovil fans were touting Jed Ward as the best keeper in the league. Now, we love our keepers in this league, on this pod, and I'd definitely put him towards the top. I think he might have a busy day on this one, though, because Forest Green have hit really good form recently as well. I think they're unbeaten in 7 in league now, and obviously went through in the trophy fairly comfortably against Western-super-Mare. I'm backing this to be a tight one, but Forest Green to pinch it 2-1. Dan, let's go to you first on this one.
Yeah, I actually do think this one's going to be a tight game. I actually do this time, but I think, like Craig said, not much to add really. But Forest Green are really, they're quite quick to tell us what their XG is and how many shots they've had and all that kind of stuff. So I'll buy into it, and I think they'll win, but it'll be close. I've gone 2-1 Forest Green.
Marcus?
Well, Billy Rowley, as you say, he's got off to a flying start at Yeovil, but this will be his biggest test, and a test that he'll want to impress everybody with. And as Ric Flair said, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. It's not going to quite happen, but it's going to be a 2-2 draw.
And Louis?
I toyed with giving Yeovil something this game. I think this was a tough one to call, but I have just gone for Forest Green to edge it 2-1. I think they'll just have enough quality on the day to get through.
3 identical scores in that one, so it'll be a good game, I'm sure.
Yeah, Yeovil's definitely going to win now, lads. Just saying. Next up, we've got Brackley against Morecambe. Mark, over to you, mate.
Oh, good grief. I tell you, I just could not wait to get this over with, really. Brackley will relish this home tie against Morecambe purely because Morecambe, I think it's going to be the last chance saloon for their manager, but the ownership, I'm seeing Morecambe fans on social media wishing that their club had actually gone under. Sit back and think about what's going on here. The two have gone from the board of directors from Morecambe. What does that tell you? But there has to be a push coming to a shove, And if Morecambe do not get any points over this Christmas period, then they have to pull the trigger on England's best coach. It's as simple as that. But Brackley are going to beat them 2-0 on the Sunday, because they'll be looking at that thinking, yes, this will be the opportunity to pull away, and I think they will. Louis, what do you think, my man?
Yeah, obviously, I think with Ashley Singh, it's one of those things where if it goes wrong on the pitch, he doesn't know what to do. And I think Brackley proved against Boreham Wood they can score goals now. They competed well in that game. They competed well against Burton. I think they take the lead in this one. And I think they hold it. I've gone 1-0 Brackley.
And let's not forget Morecambe have just signed another goalkeeper as well, old Miles Boney, on non-contract first. But we'll go to Boney Dan. What do you think?
Boney Dan. Never been called that before. But yeah, not much to add really. I'm quite pleased. I've gone for the same as Louis. I've gone 1-0 Brackley. Seeing as Louis is top of the predictions league, I'm quite happy to go with whatever Louis goes with.
Just blatant copying. Why not? Craig, are you going to copy everybody else? Or
No,
excellent.
I'm not a sheep. I'll go the opposite way. I'm going to go for a Morecambe win on this one. I think Brackley's league form has been shocking. I think because of some of the other teams, maybe they've got away with it a little bit more. Now, their cup maybe has been the perfect distraction for them with that result against Boreham Wood, but I'm really starting to fear for Brackley. And I feel like I don't know why, because I don't think Ashley Singh Jahal's the right man for Morecambe. But I'm just going to back him to win this one. I'm going to go 2-1 Morecambe. Probably one of them predictions on Sunday evening. I look at it and think, what on earth have I done there? But I've done it now.
As we all will probably. But come on, Morecambe board, listen to your fans. They're going to make Jason Whittingham look like Sheikh Mansour at this rate.
There's a comparison I didn't think I'd ever hear. Next up, we've got Solihull Moors against Sutton. Louis, over to you, mate.
Yeah, not sure. This is one that many neutrals might be tuning into potentially. Solihull, if you take out penalty shootouts, they're unbeaten in 90 minutes at home in 8 games in all competitions, again, including the comp competition that we don't mention. Last defeat at home was against Woking on the 30th of September, but no clean sheet in their previous 5 games. So they are leaking goals. Obviously, Fylde knocked them out on penalties, but managed to score 2 against them on Saturday in the trophy. For us, obviously, we mentioned it earlier, back-to-back defeats in cup competitions for us. The less said about the one on Saturday, the better. What an absolutely awful performance that was. But we scored 13 in our last 5 matches, but only 1 clean sheet away from home this season, which came at Braintree, which was Aggie's first game in charge. And I think that was a stop the rock type of result, that one. We've only lost once in our previous 10 games to Solihull Moors. I think this will be 1-11 on Sunday after a 2-2 draw. Dan, what do you think?
It's going to look like I'm copying Louis, and I swear to God I'm not. I've got them written down. I can show you. I haven't got 2-2. I've got 1-1, but I've got a draw. Like you say, I think Solihull's home form's been good. Sutton take out the cup performances, but in general in the league they've been good. I just couldn't split them, so like I always do, to go down the middle.
Yeah, Craig.
One the neutrals might regret not watching, because I've gone for a draw as well, but I got 3-3.
I'll take that, I think. Obviously, want the win, but entertainment. Mark, what do you think?
Well, they can forget about the FA Trophy game. I certainly won't, Louis. You can count on me for that. But it's going to be, I mean, Chris Millington has been at Solihull just a shade longer than our dear friend Chris Agata. So still very, very much fresh ideas being pumped into both squads. So I'm going to go for 1 each. And no more mention about that FA Trophy defeat.
So we've all gone for a draw.
On the next podcast.
So we've all gone for a draw there. That's impressive. Next up, we've got Braintree Hartlepool. Craig.
Yeah, so I've done a TikTok for this, and I did this morning. So Wednesday morning for the viewers. Wednesday afternoon, we sold what I believe has been our best player of the season. So I'm going to stick with my TikTok prediction, which was 1-0 to Braintree, because neither team has been in great form the last 7 or 8 days. We both lost quite convincingly in the league on the 6th of December. Both got knocked out by lower league opposition in the FA Trophy. The new manager bounce, or the interim manager bounce, has gone from Hartlepool. The new manager bounce hasn't taken any effect. They're going full circle to probably sacking him in a couple of months and starting again, which they seem to do every year. I know Louis always talks about that one on there. But for Braintree, selling Miranda to Boreham Woods is a big blow. It was a position that I think Callum put a tweet out about your mid-season review for each team when I said we need another centre mid to help Miranda when he needs a bit of rest, he needs a bit of competition in there, and then we sold him. So it's a position I think we're really lacking now. But I did go 1-0 to Braintree. I think it might be a really cagey affair, and then maybe a moment of magic from Manuel Thomas or a goal from a set piece. I don't think it's going to be a classic, but I am commentating, so tune in. Dan, what do you think, sir?
I've gone with Braintree as well. I've gone 2-1. You talked about new manager bounce and that. By the sound of it with Hartlepool, it's the new manager curse. They just seemed to, like say, when he was interim in charge, they couldn't stop winning. And ever since he's been given the job on a full-time basis till the end of the season, they can't buy a win. So I've gone for 2-1 Braintree.
And Louis?
Yeah, I'm glad you went to Dan first, because I've also got 2-1 Braintree. Yeah, I think your home form has picked up, and Hartlepool. Yeah, I said it on previous podcasts. I think Wealdstone will be gone by mid-February. I think it's just the way it works at that club. So yeah, 2-1 Braintree for me.
Yeah, a shame for me on this one that Jermaine Francis got sent off in their last game, so he won't be playing, because obviously he was a big part of our survival last season, and I like to give kudos and respect to those players when they come back with their new teams, but he obviously won't be playing. Mark, your prediction for this one?
Well, we got it in the neck of several Hartlepool fans when Nicky Featherstone didn't get recommended for the manager of the month, and as soon as we do, he goes duff, doesn't he? So you can give a little bit of the National League Lowdown curse. So we won't be recommending any more managers in the future. But yes, Braintree, they're going to want to start pulling away. Hartlepool need to start winning again. It's going to be 1-1.
I was back in your customary 0-0 from the way you were going there, mate.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go 0-0 as well.
It'll come.
I think he's coming next.
Next up, we've got Gateshead Eastleigh, which is over
There
to you,
it
Louis.
is.
Oh, spoiler alert! I wonder what you're going to talk about. Yeah, close your ears, Gateshead fans, because it's horrible listening at the moment. 8 defeats on the bounce in all competitions. They've only scored 3 goals in that time. 2 of those came against us in the 4-2 defeat. 5 points from 30 points available at home so far this season. So 1 win and 2 draws. 24 goals conceded in their previous 8 games. It's grim. It's grim listening. It's grim reading. If you're a Gateshead fan, but you can open your ears now, because you are only 1 point from safety with a game in hand. So as bad as they have been, as we've spoken about, the form of the other teams around them is just maybe just keeping them in the fight in that sense. But in other seasons, they might have been cut adrift at the bottom. But yeah, real troubles at that club at the moment. For Eastleigh, they're just an odd side at the moment. They got their first win in 7 games in all competitions in the trophy on Saturday against Aldershot at home. But only Braintree and Brackley have scored less this season, so they only scale an average of 1 per game. Eastleigh, no clean sheet in 10 matches for Eastleigh. So a game that might be a low margin one. Gateshead are 7 unbeaten against Eastleigh. It will be 8 by Sunday evening, in my opinion. I've gone for a 1-1 prediction, so I've sat on the fence in all 3 of my featured games. Dan, what do you think?
I haven't copied you this time. I'm very wary of what I'm saying about Gateshead's home form, because I'm very aware that we go there on Boxing Day. So I am very aware of what's going to happen and what's written in the stars. But their home form is absolutely abysmal. Eastleigh aren't great either, but if you're losing at home, when you go to Gateshead, that's on you. I don't think Eastleigh lose. I think it's got 1-0 on it. 1-0 to Eastleigh.
Yeah, as you said, I don't think it would be a game with many goals. If you're watching this as a neutral, I think you need to give your head a wobble. Craig, what do you think?
I mean, if you choose to watch the National League at this time, you've got a choice of watching Gateshead or listening to my voice. So they're not much better either way.
Gateshead it is.
Yeah, I think you summed it up quite well with Eastleigh. Are they getting away with how bad the other teams have been? They realistically, it's relegation from them at the moment. And going away to Gateshead is probably the game you want at the moment to try and stop that rot or build on the FA Trophy victories, shall we say. And I've got them just doing this. I think both teams will score. I've gone 2-1 Eastleigh.
Yeah, and we all know what Mark's going to do, so we can move on to our next featured game now, can't we?
Let me
Go on,
confirm.
Mark.
Let me confirm this. You know what everybody knows. Both of it absolute garbage. 0-0. Let's move on.
I'm so surprised by that. Next up, we've got Boreham Wood versus Carlisle, which is me. I actually think this is going to be a really good game. I think Boreham Wood, we've talked about them so highly on here. Luke Garrard's got them playing incredible football. They're having a great FA Cup run. I know they lost to Brackley on penalties in the FA Trophy, but they won't be too, disappointed with that. I think they've got so many players that can hurt you. Obviously, they've just signed Marshall Miranda from Braintree as well. But they've got Zach Brunt, they've got Abdul Malik, they've got Rush, they've got Sousa. They've got so many players that can hurt you. And I do worry for Carlisle in this one. I think the walk-in defeat was really damaging. The performance was really poor. And I know I've spoken on here to you lads and that we've been winning games, but we've been scraping over the line in certain games. We've done it against Harbour even in the FA Trophy, scraped over the line, and at some point you're going to come unstuck. And I feel like this might be a game where we come unstuck. So I've gone 3-2 to Boreham Wood. Craig?
I'm going to plonk myself firmly on the fence for this one. What a thriller it was earlier in the season down at up at your place. I was going to say down at your place. Can't say down when you go into Carlisle. Can you? Definitely up. 3-3. I don't think there's going to be as many goals in this one. I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah, it was a great game. I remember coming on here. Obviously, this was early in the season, so no one really knew what Boreham Wood were going to be doing. I remember saying they were the best side I've seen up here, and I still stand by them and Rochdale probably the best two teams that have came up here. Louis?
Yeah, I think we've spoken previously on the pod earlier on in the season about the depth in Boreham Wood squad maybe not being there compared to the other sides, but they obviously have now strengthened, as we said, with Marshall Miranda. Booty's obviously come in on loan as well. They've scored 16 goals in the last 5 games, 1.9 goals per game, second best home record. Carlisle have had no clean sheet in 7. I'm sorry, Dan, I can't see anything other than a Boreham Wood win. I think it's a statement win. I'm going 3-1 Boreham Wood.
Yeah, I'm tempted to agree with you, mate. Mark?
Yeah, Boreham Wood are just showing what quality they truly have. I mean, boosting the squad with Marshall Miranda today. As you say, Regan Booty's gone there. The permanent signing of Zach Brunt to add to Abdul Malik, Rush, Luke Norris still on the bench there. And Mark Hughes will now find himself a little bit under pressure after that Woking game because they should really have not been defeated in such a manner. But they're going to get beaten again. It's going to be Boreham Wood 2, Carlisle 0.
I think what impresses me the most with Boreham Wood is you think they'd almost be happy where they are, and they're not. They're going, right, we're going to get this player and we're going to get this player and we're going to fully go for it this year. And for that, you've got to
rightly so.
With what you've got around them and the names they're up against, the Yorks, the Carlisles, the Rochdales, the Forest Greens. You could almost just go, yeah, we're happy to be in amongst it. They're going for it, and fair play to them on that. And I
couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more with you, mate. Honestly, I think for me, you look at Boreham Wood, if you'd offered them where they are now at the start of the season, they'd have absolutely snapped your hand off. But where they are, I think they've probably looked at the teams around them and thought, actually, we can match these or beat these even on our day. And they've probably thought, we're going to go for the jugular here and we're going to bring in players and head for that top of the table. And I don't see why they can't do it, to be fair, on current form.
I watched the Miranda interview with a tear in my eye. Gutted that he's left us. But and they just kept saying to him, what's your aim for this season? And he was saying promotion. We're going to get promoted. And I was thinking, that's quite a bold claim. But so what? He's clearly had a conversation with the manager that's shown him that's the ambition of the club. He's not going to go, oh, yeah, we might make the playoffs. We're going this. No, we're going up, lads. And I love that. Don't sit on the fence like we do. Proper go for it. Go for it. If you think you're going to win the league, put your eggs in that basket and go for it.
Yeah, well, there's not much room left on the fence by the time we've all sat on it, to be fair. So
it's a complete sliding doors moment when you think about last season in the playoff semi-final when they were 3-1 down to Dorking in like the 87th minute, going out and facing another season National League South and now flying high at the top of the National League. Yeah, football. Why don't you love it if you don't love it? It's just a sport that keeps on giving.
Exactly. And last up, we've got Halifax against Wealdstone. Mark, this is your game.
Absolutely, yes. Again, two teams who are going for the top 10 and have playoff aspirations, just like Tamworth and Southend, as we mentioned earlier. You just don't know what you get with either team. Wealdstone will want to bounce back pretty quickly after that. I wouldn't say demoralising defeat against Truro. It's just not helpful. More helpful to the home side than it was to Wealdstone. Halifax, they have some very, very strange results. They can be absolutely. They could be like Fred Astaire one game and then like Freddie Starr the next. They're really hard to fathom out sometimes, but it's not going to be not going to be an absolute one for the purists here, a classic. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I know I say draws a lot, but I tend to look at them and think, ooh, what shall we do? Craig, my feathered friend whose club keeps selling their best players, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you summed up really well. I've obviously only watched Hartlepool the full 90 minutes twice this
Halifax,
season.
dear boy.
Halifax, sorry. Yeah. I'm trying to forget them because they battered us last week or 2 weeks ago. But yeah, obviously we've played them twice. I've watched them twice, 90 minutes. First time we beat them 3-0 and they were the worst team I'd ever seen. They're absolute garbage. Last time they played us, they beat us 4-0 and played us off the park and were 1970s Brazil. So if you get that standard of them, and I think it's more likely to get it at home, I think they're going to be really hard to beat. And Wealdstone, I don't think they've got anything to worry about, but their performances and results lately have been a little bit concerning, and I'm going to expect that to continue. I'm going to go 2-0 Halifax.
Interesting. Yeah, Adam Lakeland will want to get another run. He had a run earlier on in the season. He will want one of them again, just to get in touch with those playoffs. Louis, what do you think? What's going to happen?
When I did my notes earlier on this week, I changed my prediction twice for this game. Having seen last night's performance, I'm changing it for a third time. So I've gone 1-0 Halifax. I think the midweek game will take a lot out of Wealdstone. Halifax has obviously had a week off. So yeah, 1-0 Halifax for me.
What were the previous scores that you had before you decided on 1-0? I'm very intrigued.
I had 2-1 Halifax, and then I stuck with 1-1, and now I've gone 1-0 Halifax.
Okay, well, Dan, did you copy any of those results, or knowing that Louis changed his 3 times?
Yeah, I've changed mine 3. No, I haven't. No, I've gone 2-1 Halifax. I think Wealdstone. I think
You
that
only
defeated
the original one then.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, 2-1. I just think Wealdstone, the damage that the Truro defeat could do, I don't know. Again, they're a bit of a mixed bag, and I think if Halifax are going to get the best of them, like Craig said, it'll be at home. So I'll back the home team. That's it for our predictions, I think. Obviously, that's the 12 days of Christmas. They're all televised. Take your pick, like we said. We've said which games we think might be worth watching, which ones won't be worth watching. So probably watch the flip ones instead. Gateshead, Eastleigh's got classic.
Commentating at 2 o'clock, Gateshead at 2 o'clock. If you need to do any Christmas shopping, that's your time.
Yeah, do it then.
But yeah, like I say, that's it from us for this one. This is our predictions and everything. Get involved. We'll post the graphic on social media. Joe is our guest. He's going to be doing his predictions for us as well. Fellow Sutton fan, same as Louis. So thanks everyone for watching, and obviously thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers go out to Ethan McLeod, his family, everyone at Macclesfield, in this sad moment as well. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you again soon.